Rachel. We're gonna play for this one. We're going to be playing as Rachel. Rachel and her boyfriend Jake are trapped in the high school. High school is cursed or haunted. Something going on here. As I turn lights on throughout the run, you'll see all sorts of creepy crawly things like bugs and spiders and other kinds of creepy undead things hearing about the room. Step out too far into the shadow. Those nice, nasty, nightmarish things will reach out and drag you to the underworld. So to avoid that, you have to turn on lights, different sorts of light, a safe pathway for yourself. Time to time throughout the game, you'll actually get phone calls from your significant other. Playing as Rachel, that is Jake on the phone. Oh, make sure to answer the phone. You have to answer every phone call in the game in order to get the best ending, but you can skip the cutscene. What we're going to do. But it's nice. These are oscillating lamps. They turn side to side just like a fan. They make great auto-scroller levels. I'll wait for that last lamp to fade around here. Also get regular table lamps. TVs, computers. Break windows. You also get a nice beam of light. You can break windows out or with cherry bomb. Have to creatively use all the tools at your disposal to get across the room. Also a game called Lit for Steam as well as mobile devices. Same game name, same characters, same company, but totally different game. The Steam version is 2D puzzle game. Much more cutesy graphics. Different puzzles. Same basic mechanic. You need lights to cross the room safely. But the games are not similar enough to share a leaderboard at all. First 5 levels are tutorial to basic game mechanic. Set you up for your first boss fight against the English teacher. The English teacher takes damage from any source of light, and when she takes damage, she counterattacks. That TV got very heavily counterattacked. It is now in a million pieces over there. If you break a window that shines light on her, she covers it in shadow, so no more light can get through. Flashlights. The only battle that your flashlight can deal damage for, but you do get counterattacked yourself, so it's got to be the last hit of the fight. Phone call from Jake. We're skipping the audio, but if we let the audio play out, the audio actually plays through the Wiimote. You have to hold the Wiimote up to your ear like it was an actual phone. A neat little way to gain immersion. Unfortunately, it means that the audio can't be captured by stream. Basically, my only option is to hold the Wiimote up to the microphone. But I do have the audio stored locally. I also have this. If I had somebody want that out for me, marathon setting or something like that, is that flood lamp there? It's connected to a motion sensor. So I shot my slingshot in the general vicinity of that corner of the room. Turned on a nice big flood lamp for me, but flood lamps use a ton of electricity. Keep a track of with the at the top. Too much electricity, you break the fuse box and have to start the level over. Here, normally you turn this lamp on so you can listen to the whole phone call rather. But since we're skipping the audio, let's go right to the exit. I'd probably. Sit here, I'm gonna have a moment. Not as big a deal, or at least it's not as difficult in this oscillator level, but most of the oscillator levels require you to turn off lights that you're not using. Don't go over your power budget. There it is. And I almost walked too far there. You can just barely reach. Off. Turn the computer on. Every computer in the room will turn on at the same time. Have to budget power accordingly, so you don't blow the box. Second boss fight is in the cafeteria against the janitor. The janitor also takes damage from light. Fight works a little bit differently. Doesn't break lamps, he just turns them back off by swinging his big old mop around. So your goal here is not to hit him a certain number of times, it's to overwhelm him by having so many lights on that he just simply melts out of it. So it's a race to turn on more lights than he's turning off. The computers are there mainly as a trap. If you accidentally misclick on a computer, there are way too many computers in the room to ever be able to turn those on, and you'll just you'll immediately start the fight over. This thing, I was learning when I was playing this room casually, the trickiest thing was not to go and back and that lamp off. That's the only lamp you can actually reach on the right-hand side to turn it back off. And that is solving this puzzle. Otherwise, you get right up to this corner and you have too many things on. You only have one slingshot. We're still at the cap here, but I've got to break one. So if you don't have an extra slingshot pellets, stuck right there. Another phone call in this. Almost about turning the TV on there. I would have. Cherry bomb has to be thrown almost right at the exit. The cherry bombs have an area of effect. You throw it right at the window, you end up breaking the lamp. Which you need. Oh. I switched off the TV remote there, because the A button uses the item in your pocket like your TV remote, but it also uses items on the table. It's very easy to think you're using one item, but you're really using a different item. That's a very, very easy common way for you a run. There we go. Ooh. I've been doing bad ending runs. I almost skipped the phone call there. Almost went too fast. I would have been really, really salty at the end of the game when I didn't get the good ending. Oh man. This room, I've actually found unintended solution that skips about 2/3 of the level. I get right to the edge of the light in the TV there, and throw a flare down, which gives you just enough reach to reach the lamp that's by the exit. Now we're in generic hallway, and like any good high school, there are hall monitors. Pair of hall monitors, they are sisters. One sister waits for you to stop moving around so much, and then she'll dash behind you and grab your ankle. Just try to. Other sister will help her sister out, and she's also patrolling around the perimeter of the hallway. Try and run into you, and if she runs into you, then she just takes a swipe at you. But they don't take damage from light, they only take damage from fire. You have to manipulate, you have to work your way around the level to get to the flare, and get one of the sisters to step in the flare. The other one will come to help. In light version, like your normal story mode or going for good ending, this boss fight, super easy. In dark mode, this boss fight has a hidden time limit, and if these are not positioned well, you might get one of them stuck in the flare. The other one, who walks so slowly, might take so long to catch up to her sister that you end up timing out, even though you ran the level pretty well. So in dark mode, that boss fight is by far the hardest thing in the run. I almost caught that. When you have to answer the phone call, that catching that light is very, very, very. Oh wow, I missed a couple. Gotta take this level one step at a time with some pretty deliberate backtracking because there are balls made up of blackboards scattered throughout the level. Well, you have to take this roundabout path and so much backtracking. Also gotta remember to turn lamps off as you go. Very tight power budget. You have to wait for the oscillator to come back to the top here. You cannot reach otherwise. Thanks to the blackboard that's behind me now, it's a little bit hard to see exactly where you're standing. Not careful, you really can just take 2 steps there. Calls a game over. Maybe my least favorite level in the game is an oscillator level, but none of the oscillators are synced up. You have to sync them up on your own. This is a create your own auto-scroller level. Auto-scrolls are so much fun, why not play Mario Maker with me? You have plenty of time to get to the phone, so not screaming rush for that requirement. You gotta sync up all 4 of these lamps so they're all pointing towards the middle roughly at the same time. Notice bottom right one is stuck all the way open right now. It's all synced up. When this bottom left one, it's all the way closed. That should work. If they're slightly off sync, I can go stand by this lamp in the middle and for another cycle, but I gonna be okay. What makes it hard is some of the shading effects makes it kind of hard to see between the second and third lamp where it's safe to walk through. One of two computer lab type levels in the game. There are however many computers are in here. There are precisely 5 too many for me to be able to turn any of them on. I have precisely 5 slingshot pellets. I'm gonna shoot and then talk. There we go. You have to break 5 computers just to be able to turn them on. But if you break the wrong 5 computers, you break your pathway to the exit. Casually, you'd have to basically do guess and test to figure out which 5 computers you can break. Because you can't even turn them on and then break the computers. I mean, since we're answering the phone call here, this corner of the room is it's a lot slower and a little more complicated than it needs to be. I have to wait for this middle oscillator to catch back up to me. This lamp off, turn this lamp back on, follow it to turn that lamp off. Also, I can stay in my power budget. Look any of that if you forget to do any of those steps. If you forget to turn off the lamp at the start of the level, you get to this point and you're pretty much stuck. You can either work your way all the way back around the start, or you can just restart the level, but I would not. Pretty sure you can leave that lamp on if you want, but you're waiting for the auto scroller anyway. So I'm never gonna find out. I'm just gonna off for safety. It doesn't cost you any. All right, dodgeball. You can already feel the tension. Let's fight. This fight is tough because the dodgeballs are ridiculously powerful. Dodgeballs will kill you in one hit. They also kill you on rebounds. You have to dodge, then you have to dodge it coming back off the wall. That was a little more aggressive than I was thinking about doing. There we go. When you hit the coach with a source of light, he gets mad and then he starts screaming, and when he starts screaming, he breaks whatever electronics are still turned on. So if you still need a lamp, you have to remember to turn it off before you scream. There we go. But the dodgeballs, he was pretty friendly this time. The dodgeballs can take some really, really funky bounces and just nail you in the back of the head. Sometimes they'll bounce very, very high up in the air. They just stay live forever and ever and ever. You end up getting pelted 3, 4, 5 seconds after he chucked the thing because it took a funny bounce. Had to flare up. We're in the last stretch of the game here. Last 5 levels. A lot more flares than this. So you gotta be careful with those. You can't pick those back up and try again. Place them in the wrong spot. So we're on a very strict power budget. I have to trade this lamp for the lamp that's by the exit by waiting for the oscillator. I did answer that phone call, right? That was silly. Here. right at it too. I thought about shooting it that way and decided against it. I did pick up that phone call in the last room, right? Now I'm not gonna know until the end of the run. That's great. No idea if the run is live or not. That's always a good feeling. I turned that lamp off. It's optional, but if you do this little section of the level very quickly, have 2 flood lamps on at the same time, and if you have 2 floodlights and that table lamp on at the same time, you're gonna blow the fuse. Here's a second computer lab type level. We don't have slingshots this time, we have cherry bomb. You have to be careful you don't break the wrong thing. Not only are there computers in this level, there are TV remotes. You have to make sure you break enough computers to be able to turn the TV on as well. This is the one level where you don't want to shoot a motion sensor first. I don't know why I forgot that in the there. I think I got this level and the last level that I made a mistake on. I think I got them mixed up in my head for a second. Because some of these levels start out with very, very similar patterns. At least they look the very same visually. But you start revealing some of the level. Just forget which stage you're actually on. Should be the last phone call of the game. I haven't missed one. If I have missed one, nothing I can do about it now. Quite upset with myself and have to do another run. To the right, to the right. All of this running around, get to this oscillator in the northeast. And that oscillator is going to let us get to this computer that's here on the other side of the shadow. It's going to turn on the computer by the entrance. You have to backtrack to the start and grab a flare. See, now we're right at the power budget. Gotta wait for the first flood lamp to turn off. Second one on. No way I can reach the computers to turn them back off safely, so we're gonna have to wait for that on the retreat. So, even if I turn off the TV, not enough energy saved to be able to hit the next flood. It was also a very dangerous place for that flare to end up, on a little bit closer to the door, ideally. On the last level of the game. Before the boss fight, at least. Another big long oscillator. Very, very strict power budgeting. See how close you are to getting caught by the shadow there. If you want to save that cycle. Oops. You're gonna end up having to wait for a cycle at some point. Either sitting here in a place like I am, or just by backtracking to old lamps. This is the safer, easier way to do it, and it doesn't cost you any extra time, because again, you're just waiting for lamps to turn around regardless. Rather than having to move, backtrack, you can sit in place and wait. 3 lamps in the corner, they're all red herrings. Just a big old trap to waste your time. You gotta hug the debris right there. Get to this lamp. Gotta hug the area here. This lamp off. Follow your new lamp to the north corner here. What is the hardest lamp in the game? That blackboard, especially in dark mode, blocks enough of your vision to make that way tougher than it looks. Be able to reach that lamp. It's easy to not step far enough. It's easy to step too far, both of which end up in nice big fat time losses. Got through it okay, and now we're on the principal, last boss fight of the game. Get this cherry bomb. Not too far left. Very tight window here. Where if you throw the cherry bomb right, you break both windows and deal damage. The principal takes damage from cherry bombs. You're only supposed to be able to break the two windows. You're not supposed to be able to deal damage at the same time. So that's going to save us a cycle and a cherry bomb. So there's going to be one cherry bomb left over that I don't need, because we are done. 25, 36, 65. Let's see if we got good ending or if I accidentally just did an any percent run. Did I catch all the phone calls? Tell me I caught all the phone calls. Please give me the good ending. Good ending. Yes! Rachel's alive.
Hey, you.
As. Phew. The neat thing about the credits